Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is America! Don't get you slipping up! Cause of my...
Konnichiwa.
Right on schedule.
Look, if you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, one moment, make it count. To capture.
Yep.
He's different.
America! Woo! Jesus doesn't live here anymore.
Highly recommend.
Play.
I'll get 6.
Eyeballing me, dog.
Narcy!
There is no going back. No one leaves this place.
Everybody put your hands in the air.
You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it.
I just had a party with these guys.
Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? Look again.
Are you communicating with me?
It's very impressive. So, are you a ninja?
Have you not heard of the legend of the white child who will grow up to become the greatest ninja master of all time?
Is that you?
Some say it is so.
Run, piggy, run!
What a lovely day!
So good, make you wanna slap your mama. Yeah, boy.
What the hell you want?
That's the signal! Go, go, go! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
It's a homer. Abort! Don't waste a bullet.
Everything you do irritates me.
How many of you have ever felt personally victimized by Regina George?
Dodge this.
He's a screaming dragon!
Don't do that.
Asshole.
I got a build for you, Banditos. This ninja sniper one-shot chain kills with 100% weapon handling and almost 200% stability. If you want more videos like this and unique and effective builds are for you, be sure to hit like right now and comment ninja sniper down below to support the channel. So yeah, on the surface, you're probably looking at this build and going, what a Frankenstein. This guy has no idea what he's doing. And I know we're gonna get a few of those comments because people are gonna take one look at this build and not understand how amazing it is and why it's put together the way it is. But this build does the trick, does everything you need to do. So it's based on the Ninja Bike backpack as its centerpiece. This is new for season 11. We get the 3 cores that have headshot damage on it, and the talent is resourceful, so it slots in with any equipped gear set and or brand set item to fulfill a requirement towards unlocking the set bonus. And that's exactly what we're doing. Every piece has been carefully selected on this build. The base of this build was created during a live stream, and many of you were there to witness this thing come together. But I toyed around with it even further outside of the stream to perfect it, and this is the final version I'm bringing to you today. So I created this build especially for those who aren't proficient with their sniper game, but I realized it's actually a very amazing build for those that are proficient as well, because you can rip off the scope and run and gun with it and do some very amazing things, as you can see from the gameplay montage. So my goal was to go for 100% weapon handling to give you guys every inch of assistance that I possibly could could without sacrificing the necessary damage to one-shot chain kill at the elite level on heroic content. So we have 100% weapon handling, almost 200% stability, and over 100% accuracy with a 1.4 second reload time. Those stats are magnificent, and for the first time we can do it thanks to Season 11 and the Ninja Bike backpack, which allows us to unlock some of the attributes we wouldn't otherwise be able to have space for on our build. It starts with one piece of Hotshot, which I have on my knees. Gives us 30% marksman rifle damage, very important for our primary weapon, and a whopping 30% handling. And it has weapon damage and weapon handling as a secondary attribute. So the weapon handling is going to be on every piece but the backpack. As you can see, I balanced it out at 1.1 million total armor. And that's a really good place to be, especially if you're holding it down in cover. It's probably more than enough. Okay, it's important that you run the chain killer chest, and you want it to look just like this. Okay, so the Walker and Harris gives us weapon damage. The Ninja Bike unlocks the damage to armor for us. That's really important because our goal is to make sure we're one-shotting elites and chain killing them as well. Damage to armor helps us there because they all have armor. Weapon damage, weapon handling, and headshot damage. You want all these stats just like that. And then perfect head enter gives us 1,250% cap damage based on our last killing blow, and that all depends on how much headshot damage you have on your weapons. My primary is 179% headshot damage. You can have more if you add a scope, and I'm going no scope. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then 241, 170, and 270%. So all our weapons are over the threshold. Walker and Harris is the only thing that made sense with the Ninja Bike backpack. If you run Providence, it's going to give you crits. If you run Habsburg, it's going to give you more marksman rifle damage as the secondary attribute, and we don't want that. The reason why is because the weapon that we're most interested in buffing is actually the TAC 50. This is not classified as a marksman rifle, even though it is. It's a specialization rifle. So marksman rifle damage from sets like Hotshot or Neraldi aren't going to help this. And so that's why Walker is what you're going to want on your chest piece.
If you're looking to be part of a strong, positive community, then I have you covered. Join Tux's Discord. We're not elitists, and we're so much more than just clans and raids. Tux's Discord continues to grow as the central hub for the player base that loves this game and wants to see it thrive. And if you love builds, this is the spot. Also, join Tux's Players Club to support the channel, the cause, while getting access to member perks and extra content like gaming music playlists. Click the join button below.
And I'm running the contractor's gloves, so these are a must for this build because you're going to unlock that additional weapon handling. I have more weapon handling and that damage to armor, which again is really critical in helping us one-shot chain kill elites right out of the gate. And so that was my goal, was to be able to step into the arena, choose an elite, and kill him as long as he's not wearing a helmet. For survivability, I added one piece of Bellstone, so that's giving us 1% armor regen and 10% armor on kill. We have an armor core, and the rest of the attributes are consistent. I love running the Memento backpack with my sniper builds, but because we have the Ninja Bike, which is the only way to get the weapon handling as high as we have, we lose that survivability from the armor regen and bonus armor and the extra weapon damage. So that one piece of Bellstone was a very nice way to get it back on there. And that was the final touch that ultimately made this build perfect, was not only getting the weapon handling, not only getting the damage to one-shot chain kill elites right out of the gate, but also to add the extra survivability from the regen and armor on kill. And because we're chain killing, it seems to be enough even with all directives. Now I'm running 4 directives in the gameplay. You can actually run 5. I just didn't want to mess around with ammo. We're very limited on ammo with marksman rifles. You have about 150 rounds, a little bit more, and you only regenerate ammo if you're playing from cover. So if that's what you're doing, then you're fine. Go ahead and run all 5 directives. But me, I'm playing out of cover and running and gunning, and that means I'm not getting my ammo if I turned on Pistolero. I'd have to switch to my pistol, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to deal with the hassle. But this is a 5 directive build if you're playing from cover. Here is a piece that most people wouldn't think of when running a sniper build. That's right. We're running 1 piece of striker on our holster, and the Ninja Bike is unlocking the 2-piece bonus for an additional 15% weapon handling. Just to make sure you know, weapon handling includes stability, accuracy, weapon swap speed, and reload speed. And we got weapon damage and weapon handling. Sharpshooter is what you want to run for your specialization. That's because you want the TAC 50. That is imperative for this build. You can be using the TAC 50 to kick off your fights, and it's going to be stronger than the Nemesis, so it is your preferred weapon. And Sharpshooter gives you 15% stability on your build through breathe control, so that's also something you need. And we get 15% more headshot damage, which is also helping that TAC 50 and our primary weapons. And again, it will give you ammo if you're playing from cover. Some might be thinking of gunner counter for that 10% armor on kill. And by standing still, you do get 10% weapon handling as well. And you generate ammo. These are all good things, but you need the TAC 50. And breathe control works in and out of cover, which is really handy. So the primary weapon is the SRS-A1. This is what I totally recommend you use. Now you can use any weapon, but it's the mod configuration that swayed me to this weapon, and I've been using it for a while. Let me show you what I mean. So I have the reflex sight for 5% weapon handling. I have the angled grip for 10% stability, and then I'm running the Omega suppressor for another 20% stability. And then look at this. This is probably a surprise. I'm running the sturdy marksman mag for 20% more stability. So you have a lot of options here. You can go reload speed, optimal range, and 5 more rounds, which most people usually go for by default. But I realized 7 rounds is enough, even when I'm playing out of cover. And that's because my reload speed is at 1.4 seconds. So take advantage of all that weapon handling that you've added to your build. That reload time is faster than SMG reload time. And notice my stats aren't even fully rolled, but I'm running marksman rifle damage, and then we have headshot damage, and that's not maximized yet. And I even added stability as my attribute. That's right. We didn't need damage to armor, and we didn't need damaged targets out of cover on this weapon because we're proccing the headhunter talent using our TAC 50, and that damage is going to roll over to our primary when we switch to it. So this weapon only needed to meet a minimum threshold of damage, and we didn't need to damage the targets out of cover or armor to do that. Amazing. So look at our accuracy and stability stats. They are full. We have decent damage drop off, and I'm running the talent determined. Yes, after 17.2, I'm still running determined, and I still think it's the best talent for marksman rifles. I do. I think that even more than preservation. It really ups my gameplay, and I recommend you use it too. I think it'll really help with your gameplay as well. So after killing an enemy with a headshot, the next shot landed on any enemy will be a guaranteed headshot. While the talent is active, killing an enemy will not retrigger the talent. So the devs are looking at making another iteration to this in coming updates. We're hoping that it gets improved even more than it is right now. But so you know, you need to go headshot, body shot, headshot, body shot. And I suggest you play with intention. Use that body shot when you have determined available to quickly put out a shot and minimize your misses and preserve your mag. And that's how I use it. I use it to allow me to play faster. My other weapon is the Nemesis. It's basically my backup weapon, and I mostly use it against bosses. And that's because the TAC 50 is weakened against bosses. And then I have the D50. I rarely use it, but I'm running it with determined. And then the decoy is really important. It changes the behavior of the NPCs and allows me to run around shieldless. And then the fixer for additional heals, because all we have is a 10% armor on kill and armor regen. And that is a tier 1 fixer. So I am on the Xbox. I use a controller in case you're wondering. So I wanted to show you my settings in game so that you can use these if you want to. They're not too different from default, but one of the big things that I do is I turn off my aim assist. I have it set to off. I find my gameplay is better with this off. I did a whole video on this explaining why and how it's to my benefit. But if you're still new to the game or really struggle with sniping, then keep this on for now until you get a hang of things. Remember, the more time you put into sniper rifles, the better you're gonna get. So I wanna let you know that you can run a scope, and it's only gonna make you stronger. If you do run a scope, I recommend the digital scope for 45% of headshot damage, because you're not going to lose reload speed if you do this. If you use the other one down here, it's going to take away reload speed, and you don't want that. So go ahead and use the digital scope. It's the best one, and it gives you the zoom capabilities as well. If you use this, your build just gets stronger. So you're going to bump your headshot damage up by 45%, which is amazing, in only the loss of 5% weapon handling. Wow. So you're basically losing nothing. Now, because I'm playing out of cover, I'm running and gunning, I wanted to use no scope. So that's the reason why I went that way. But you can also go with the 8x scope if you want to play something in between, because 8x scope isn't actually very zoomed in. And so you can still run and gun with the 8x scope quite easily. Hey, I made an exotic Sweet Dreams legendary skill build. I know that sounds crazy, but you gotta run it.
Follow me.